after the fashion. I think it's safe to say he's a serial killer.
Oh.
Yeah, he's been kidnapping weirdlings, and I guess running experiments on them. Hylas's attempts to prod, which were really attempts to distract him from furthering the surgical torture process, I guess, didn't yield many results, but did confirm that, Lloyd is doing all of this to stay alive, for survival, for his family. Using his sister as a bargaining chip didn't really work that well. It's very clear that he hasn't been on the same page as his siblings for a while. They haven't really held up communications. Aang very bravely forged a contract with Lloyd after telling him that she cannot die. And her terms were thus, I believe. He is allowed to kill her to see if she comes back, but he has to let Hylas go alive.
Yep.
So condition 1 of that contract has been fulfilled. He has killed Aang. He's mutilated our girl. She had a very interesting and scary inner dialogue with Dee Dee, as Aang was like, hey, help? And Dee Dee didn't really agree, but it seemed like Dee Dee's going to do something that may or may not actually be helpful. We can probably expect Dee Dee shenanigans soon, and that terrifies me. So we're still in the basement. Aang is dead. Hylas has the scalpel, and was promptly chloroformed for the night.
But you cut one of the restraints on your wrist free.
Yeah, I thought I got elbow too.
Did you get elbow? I don't remember. I remember you got at least one.
Okay, if I didn't get elbow, I was at least halfway through elbow.
Yeah, okay.
Meanwhile, the rest of the gang got a little concerned that we didn't show back up for the night. So they reconvened with the boys. And a search party commenced, but they didn't really have the full context, or they didn't really know what to expect in terms of how freaked out they should be that we didn't come back. So after the search didn't really yield any results, they turned in for the night, and everyone is a little stressed about that, but it's fine. Probably.
Okay. Zell, I will give you your due hero point. You did do the recap.
Thank you, chef.
I will also say, while I'm giving out hero points, as a blanket rule, which I think I said at some point earlier, anything you do that is detrimental to your character or impedes their progress or makes things more difficult, I will 99% of the time reward you with the hero point if you ask for one. If you willingly say oh, I don't have this thing that I need right now, or I have it on me, but I'll gladly say that I forgot it. or I did not put on armor today, or I don't have my weapons, or willingly choosing to fail certain rolls, I will most likely give you a hero point for that, because I think high stakes are good.
What do I get for dying?
Nothing.
Okay.
Wait, how many hero points do you have?
I feel like that's
0.
a lot of religious
You have 0?
philosophies.
Yes, I used them all last session, Joe.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I think it's fair to say that you can have 1, but I will not give you any more pity points.
Uh-huh.
I don't want to get in the habit of pity points. But you did die, so
It's pretty cool.
Dying is worth 1 hero point.
So the morning comes, and the other crew are waking up early to get ready and head out, recruit the nuns to search the southern area of Murkat. As they're all getting ready and shipping up to go, Paige and Pierre are going to go in their own direction to search, so that they are doing what they can, going door to door. As you are all, actually, no, wait, I forgot. We have to switch to the basement brigade. So you guys are getting ready for the morning to ship out, and recruit the nuns, but the basement crew. I need my spooky music. Okay. So, last time, Hylas, you cut yourself free, but could not escape before Lloyd came back. And Lloyd knocked you out. So I need you to do something for me.
Yes.
I need you to roll a stealth check.
Okay.
This is an important check. I will not make any. I'm just going to tell you straight up. This is an important check.
Joe, with all due respect, I believe in my situation, all of these checks are important checks.
That's actually kind of fair.
But I appreciate you keeping your honesty, openness with me.
Oh, Hylas.
15?
15's not bad.
It's not bad, but it's bad for me.
I will also say, in the spirit of giving you a chance in case you roll like shit, if you fail, or if you roll below 10, I will count your roll as 10 this one time. So the minimum you can roll right now is 17.
I think the math is a little bit lost on me.
So because you rolled below 10, I'm counting your roll as 10 instead.
Okay.
So if you had rolled a 10, it would be a 17.
Okay.
But yeah, if you roll below 10, just count it as if you had rolled 10.
All right. So that's a 17 then?
Yes, you have a 17 right now. You can use your hero point to re-roll it if you want to try to get higher.
I think I am going to use that hero point. I feel it. I feel it in my gut.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why I'm confused about that. Was that another 8?
It was another 8.
Well, that's it,
I will. Oh, just this one time, because you literally rolled the same thing twice. I will give you a free reroll. If you roll an 8 a third time in a row, you get an 8. Like, that's just what happens. But
This is just
I at least
proving
want.
that this fucking foundry is not as random as we like to think it is.
All right. I will accept your benevolence.
Hey!
There you go.
All right.
Okay. Okay. 26. So what you were rolling for is you were setting the DC. You have set it very high.
Not for me, right?
So now I'm going to roll something for Lloyd. Okay.
Okay.
So when you wake up, which is some amount of hours later, you hear like the clattering of things upstairs and the like footfalls above you. It's dark. The room, like the candle lights, have all been blown out. Aang is still there on the table or on the chair, kind of laid out. But Lloyd is upstairs. And you just kind of have this groggy sense of like rolling awake. Your hand is still free. You are fatigued.
You tell me you don't get a good night's sleep strapped to a chair?
Strapped to a chair with part of your arm cut open. So what's the play? The floor is yours.
All right. Well, Hylas can't fully see Aang, right? But
Just dark shadows.
yeah.
You can see like the outline of Aang.
While I have this opportunity, it's scalpel time.
Okay.
I would like to get my arm free,
Mm-hmm.
and rather than fiddle with the rest of the straps using the scalpel, I'd like to try unlatching them with the free arm.
Okay. So you like put the scalpel down, and after you free your arm in earnest, so the elbow is free, you can reach over and undo the buckle on your other arm. You hear footsteps from upstairs. You're not sure if they're coming downstairs, but you hear the tunk, tunk, tunk of moving in one direction, and then the dunk, 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 dunk moving in the opposite direction, getting slightly further away.
I'm immediately so stressed. Okay, so arms are free.
Arms are free.
Um,
You have neck, midsection, legs.
next.
Left.
I'm working down.
Okay.
I think that's
Neck
what
is
I said
done.
last time.
Yep. Neck is done. Midsection you can get to. As you're fumbling with it, you hear the footsteps again. And I'm going to roll a die. You hear footsteps. Still not sure which direction, like whether they're coming to the ladder or not. But the midsection is undone.
Alright. Legs are next. If I can just get out of this chair.
So
I think that's what
are
he's
you?
thinking too.
Yeah. So you start to go for one leg. And as you reach down to start unbuckling one leg, you hear the latching and rustling, or not rustling, the clatter of metal. And then you hear the lock, and then the whole the hatch open up, and the loud squeal, like the as the hatch is lifted, and he is now on the ladder. He can't see you yet,
Okay.
but he is coming down the ladder.
Now,
Out the window.
from where I'm sitting,
Uh-huh.
where is the boastful hunter?
He is straight ahead of you hanging on a little like coat hook.
But that's by the ladder to the basement, right?
No. So hold on. Let me do a little sketchy sketch here. Unless I mentioned this before. So I don't think I mentioned the layout of the basement. But it's
You kind of vaguely described it, but I forget. I knew the boastful hunter was on the wall, straight ahead, opposite of me.
Yeah. So you have the ladder, which is whoops. Let me draw. You have the ladder, which is about here, and it is hold on. Because it's in like a little vestibule. So it's here. The coat rack is over here. The surgical table that Aang is on is right here. And the chair that you are in is right there.
Okay, so... Alright.
So he can't see that you're getting free yet, but he will be coming down. Oh, and more specifically, the ladder is there.
Alright. Oh, man. Okay. And, can you put where the boastful hunter is?
Yeah. The boastful hunter is on the in the coat rack / like storage area over there, like straight ahead of you past Aang. You can all like that's where your coat and hat and everything is. Like he has put all your stuff over there.
Okay. Understood. I think the priority is freedom right now. So he's coming down the ladder.
Mm-hmm.
I am gonna get myself free.
Okay. You're gonna keep going for the buckles, even though he's coming down the stairs?
I'm thinking... With the buckles undone,
Uh-huh.
is it possible to keep sitting in the chair? No.
As though the buckles were like not undone?
Yeah.
It'd be kind of difficult, but you could maybe bullshit your way to sitting back down. You did undo like
All of
two
them.
really, yeah, like you've gotten your whole torso and arms free. So like you could do it, but it'd be kind of difficult to pull off.
Okay. I think in that case, what I'm gonna do is get my legs free and attempt to hide. I'm not gonna go for the boastful hunter.
So you're just gonna hide in the room.
I think so.
Right? Okay. Yeah. Okay. So let me ask you this. You can undo the buckles well, because he's coming down the ladder now. I'll need you to roll initiative for this. So roll your initiative check.
All right.
This is going to determine if you can manage to get every buckle off before he gets down the stairs. Because there are
Okay.
2 on each leg.
Okay.
Or two, 1 on each leg. I can't talk.
It's not letting me roll initiative.
It's technically just perception.
Okay. Well, actually,
Oh!
that should be a 26, by the way, because it's saying my initiative's +6, my perception's +4.
Yeah, because you have a bonus on it. Okay.
Yeah.
So on a nat 20 for a 26, you like fly through those last 2 buckles. You have completely
My boy.
unhooked yourself. You are totally free from the chair. Where are you going to hide? Because there's a workbench. There is the shelf that has like there is like a sort of wardrobe that's kind of attached to it. There's around the corner where the bench is, like back here, there's a workbench. And then there are all of the various like pods of creature that are just stored in different corners.
Okay.
This is not to scale, by the way. I fucked the scale up on this super hard, but you get the idea.
Yeah,
Positionally.
the vibe is there. So I have 2 questions.
Sure.
I mentioned I came into this with up to a plan C.
Okay.
We're doing things a little bit out of order, but I still have plans A through C. Do I see... What's over on the workbench? Do I see anything that...
Anything immediately useful?
Yeah, like...
So the workbench has a lot of like drawers and cabinets to it. It is like a full suite for a workbench. There are laid out on top. There are bottles of some kind of various different chemicals. There's the bottle that you have seen him pour over the rag and shove in your face. The rag is also there. There are surgical implements. There's a saw. A bone saw, I should clarify. There's a bone saw. There are calipers and pliers and all sorts of poking and prodding implements. Without searching the cabinets, you don't know what's in them. But you imagine it could be probably more similar types of tools and things. Is there anything you were hoping to find that could reasonably be in such an area?
The 2 things I was hoping to find are there. So I'm going to go hide by the workbench.
Okay.
That's the one on that southern wall, right?
Yeah, it's down here around the corner. Okay. So you run over to the workbench and you go to hide. Do you grab anything from it, or are you just going to hide first?
I assume I only have time to grab one thing.
It depends on what you want to grab. Like if you wanted to grab like the bone saw, yeah, you've got time to grab the bone saw. But if you wanted to grab the bottle and rag, they're right next to each other. You could grab both.
Okay.
What are you grabbing?
I'm going to grab the bone saw.
The bone saw? I did not think you would go for the bone saw, but okay, you have the bone saw.
Without the boastful hunter, I think I don't have a choice but to go Bloodborne on his ass, Joe.
Okay. Yeah,
quote.
sure.
What a quote.
So you run over and grab the bone saw. and then you roll me your. I will accept stealth, or deception or thievery as you try to hide yourself, depending on like how you want to hide yourself. Are you like hiding under the desk, or are you trying to like throw like yourself behind it, or how do you imagine you hide with this desk? There is like a little corner where the desk
Yeah,
is
I'm
not pressed
thinking-
up against the wall.
I'm thinking I'll hide behind the corner here. Well, yeah, if he's coming this way, it's gonna be kind of easy for him to see somebody hiding under the desk, right?
Yes, if you wanted to try to like slide a box or something in the way or move some other obstacle to like obstruct the view, you could do that, but it would make noise.
Yeah,
I will also say it's dark down here. There's no candles lit.
interesting. And I don't see any particular... I'm not going to worry about whether he has night vision or not. I'm going to assume that he does. He's got some stuff going on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm gonna hide behind this corner and see if I can't wait to see what his movements are.
Okay.
'Cause
Okay.
I might try sneaking closer to him.
Go ahead and roll me your stealth check. Or those other things that I mentioned.
Yeah, I'll go with stealth.
Okay.
I'm so stressed right now. My boy.
13.
My
Okay.
boy.
So you grab the bone saw and you flat your back against the wall on the opposite side of where the ladder is, and you wait. And you hear him like right beside you. The only thing separating you and him is a thin wall of wood where there are little slats in it. It's not perfectly visible, but like if you turn and press your eye right up against two of the wooden slats, you can see through it and see him literally moving. You hear the chunk, chunk, chunk as he climbs down the ladder. And there's a flickering light. He has a candle with him and something in his hands. Or like under his arm. As he is carefully coming down, you hear his footsteps as he rounds the corner. And then you hear something clatter to the ground. He just drops it. You hear like the scrambling of movement. He doesn't say anything. You just hear like panicked scrambling. The light is flickering and then goes still for a second. You hear clattering, metals like ching as he's like scattering stuff around. He throws doesn't throw a stool, but moves a stool. He moves another box. He rushes over. He sees, well, you can't tell what he sees, but he stops. Are you doing anything while he's scrambling?
This scrambling, so he's already like turned the corner, presumably somewhere between the Aang and Hylas stations.
He's somewhere in this area.
Okay. I look across to the chloroform. Can I remove it from the table? I don't want to hold on to it. I just want to.
Oh, so like place it out of sight. You can try. Make me a thievery check.
Oh, I'm so good at those. Okay.
That's good. That's above average. Don't have a huge bonus on that one, but you're above average. So you're grabbing just the bottle? And hiding it? Where are you hiding it? Are you just like sticking it under some other things that he has? Or are you like...
Taking it off the table and putting it in some box nearby.
Sure.
You mentioned that it would be like possible to move a box in front of the table hiding spot, like the workbench
Yeah.
hiding spot.
Yeah. There are boxes of things down here. You could easily like slip it into the top of an open box. So you reach over and carefully grab the neck of the bottle and pull your hand back. You have to reach out in this area where you're exposed.
Oh, cool.
As you grab it and slowly pull your hand back, trying to be as quiet as you can and as fast as you can. The shuffling stops.
Awesome.
There's no noise. You slowly put the bottle into the box. And you hear a step. And then another step. And then another step. And it sounds like he's getting closer. What are you doing? I hope you have a plan.
I'm between two plans right now. Maybe I shouldn't have put it in the box.
Yeah? What are you doing? He's getting closer.
Yeah, alright. I think this is where I wait for him to turn the corner. I'm just gonna stick sort of close to this area and ready the saw.
Okay.
I think fighting right now is not my best option.
So
I do
are
think
you
it is
going
one
to...
of my only options.
Are you going to try to... are you going to like ready and attack with the saw?
Yes.
Okay. So the footsteps are they're soft. You can hear them. They're not impossible to hear, but they're very soft, like he's trying to be quiet. And you hear the tap, and then a tap and a squeak of wood, and then another tap as he gets closer. And as he rounds the corner, you don't wait to think about it. You see his hand come out first, and you wait for a little bit more room before you see his face peer around the corner. And then you swing. So go ahead and roll me your attack. I will count you as being trained in Bonesaw.
Okay. So what would be my bonus for that?
It would be dexterity plus 2.
Dex plus 2. I have to find my stats. Okay, so plus 5? If it's a plus 3? Yeah.
And you'll have the drop on him, so he will be off guard.
So is that... Does that mean advantage? No.
No.
In
No.
Pathfinder? Okay.
No, I'm sorry. Off guard means his AC is 2 lower.
Oh, okay.
So he rounds the corner, and how do you swing? Do you like just swing it like an axe? Or are you trying to like thrust it towards his face to grind the teeth against him?
Sort of the latter, yeah.
Okay. So you thrust the
Going for the face,
bone
yeah.
saw. Yeah, you aim at where his face is going to be, and as you thrust the bone saw out, he rounds the corner, and he's looking at you. He's already looking at you. He knows you're there. And this bone saw catches part of his cheek and tears across his face. And he does not even seem to notice as it tears just across his cheek. And now we're going to need to roll initiative.
Cool. I thought we already rolled initiative with that perception
I
check.
thought you did.
Oh, you're right. We
Put a
did.
crit on.
You're super right. Okay, hold on. I need to get the
Let them
Hylas.
keep their crit.
No, you're right. You rolled the crit, and then the Lloyd. We're going to throw him here.
My sweet sexy 26.
And you got 26. There you go. Okay. So, you're going first.
Y'all.
Uh-huh. What's the play?
The players keep slashing.
Keep slashing?
Yeah. Oh, hi.
Oh, sorry. That was way louder than I wanted it to be. Okay. So, go ahead. You have 3 actions. You're face to face with him.
Do I notice anything in his hands immediately?
He has a scalpel in his hand, in his offhand. But he's just holding the scalpel and nothing else.
Okay. I imagine he can probably do some shit with that. I'm just gonna keep slashing.
Okay.
Oh, my boy.
That's a good hit.
So the next one is just a flat d20. Because it's minus
For the
5.
bone saw, yeah, the next one is a flat d20 because it's minus 5.
Okay.
And for a bone saw, I'm gonna say it deals 1d4. I will let you add your dexterity to this. So 1d4 plus your dexterity. Normally you add strength, but I will be generous in this case.
It's a whole one other point, but I appreciate that. That is very gracious.
The math. 1 point is 1 point.
Okay, you have 2 actions left. You start slashing at him with this bone saw. He is very fast. And you're catching him like with little cuts here and there, like shearing across part of his face or shearing close to his neck. And like he's bleeding,
Okay.
but he does not seem deterred.
Cool. Awesome. Yeah, I'm gonna take that second hit.
Okay. 12 will not hit. As you
Good to
you
know.
swing in with the bone saw in this kind of panicked motion where you're just kind of like swinging like an axe. And he catches your arm. And as he gets ready with the scalpel, you kind of catch his arm. So now you're locked in a stasis for a moment. And he is staring at you with like just death glare. Very intense death glare. Not saying anything. Not that there's anything he really has to say.
Yeah, no, right back at him. Literally in a slasher film right now. Let me check something. Oh.
Also, just to be perfectly clear, like you're not actually grappled. You can move.
Yeah.
You are free to move. That was just flavor.
What is this? Okay. I'm just reading some feats real quick.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. We're kind of locked in this.
Actually, he will say something because you have one action left.
Okay.
So before you use your next action, you're kind of locked in this stalemate at the moment. And he just looks at you and he will whisper, "If you get back in the chair, I will be nicer to you."
The bar is so low, Lloyd.
What do you do?
Yeah, we're locked here, so I think... How close is the box that had the chloroform in it? I imagine not too far.
Sorry, my mic shut off. My mic shut off. Okay.
Oh.
Sorry. The box with the chloroform in it is right beside you.
Okay.
Arm's reach.
Okay. I assume the action economy on retrieving the chloroform, should I need it, is
One action.
one action.
If you tell me what you want to do, I would be willing to be more lenient.
This may be the stupidest idea I've had yet.
Okay. What's the plan?
Especially because I'm right here. Can I grab the bottle of chloroform and smash it on his face?
I will let you do that with one action. But here's the catch.
Yeah.
To do that with one action, you have to drop the saw. And if you have to roll an attack roll, and if you succeed the attack roll, you'll smash the bottle against his head and break it. And then he will make his save to whether or not he passes out. It is a high DC. He will have trouble passing it too. But you have to drop the bone saw and then hit him with an attack.
I will wait for my next turn to do this.
Okay. So what are you doing with your current action? You can just, as one action, drop the bone saw and grab it and not have to roll anything. Or actually, you have a hand free. You can just grab it.
I could just grab it with an action.
Yeah. You can just use your last action and grab it.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Okay. You break free from the stalemate and then swoop your hand down, grab the bottle by the neck, and you have it. It is an open bottle, so you are keeping it away from your face. It's Lloyd's turn. Lloyd will, like, he has the scalpel, like, his thumb pressed to the back of it. Like, he's going to actually do some finesse with it or something. But he looks at the bottle and looks at you, and there's, like, a twitch to the eye. He is going to... He is going to try to take the bottle from you.
All right.
So...
I would too.
Yeah. He's going to try to take it from you. It's going to go from his athletics check against your reflex save. So what is your reflex save bonus?
+7.
Or I will have you roll it. So roll a reflex save, and you are trying to beat a 19. I believe. Oh. The sheer number of ones you've rolled while in this situation is unfathomable.
Is just...
I want out! I want out!
We only ever badly roll in this basement. It has an aura.
We figured out that there's 2 curses in this server. Matt just rolls bad all the time unless it's damage, and he rolls very high. Zell rolls outside of combat. Not great. Or at least if it's not directly related to shooting the gun.
True, you had great luck with the gun.
Well, stealth has gone very well for them too, so I feel like stealth is the exception.
But God, I'll be damned if you haven't rolled like 5 nat 1s since you've been in this situation.
You need Boastful Hunter again, because that'll get you back to rolling fucking 30s.
Just use it as a club, you don't have to shoot.
Okay. So Hylas, I will offer you a deal if you want to take it. He's going to take the bottle if you don't agree to this deal.
Yeah.
If you want, I will let you break the bottle and splash both of your faces. So you both have to make fortitude saves.
This was bound to happen, in my plan to use the bottle.
Mm-hmm.
So I was prepared to take this risk. Yeah.
Okay. So he goes to grab it, and you, thinking quickly, are like, no, and you yank the bottle back, but as you do, he grabs it and with a bit too much gusto, and the bottle snaps around the neck, and it splashes in like an area around your face and his face, and combat might be over really quick.
Mm-hmm.
We need a fortitude save from both of you.
I'm starting to think the hero point at the start of the session wasn't.
It was still really important, because none of this would even be happening if you rolled badly on that one.
That's true. I probably wouldn't even be out of the chair.
$17. So the bottle breaks. You immediately, the room starts like getting fuzzy, and you start feeling like lightheaded. Lloyd like gets some of it on his face and wipes his face, wipes his cheeks, wipes his nose, and then he kind of teeters a little bit. You are going to be slowed 2, which means on your turn you have 2 fewer actions to use, and Lloyd is going to be slowed 1. But you're not unconscious, at least not yet.
Oh my god.
So that happened on Lloyd's turn. Lloyd still has 2 actions.
He sure does.
So Lloyd is going to try to grapple you. he is going to try to push you up against the wall. Roll me a fortitude save, because this is against his athletics. And I could roll athletics for him, but I would rather you roll.
Going so. Oh.
He throws his arm out in front of you and presses it to your collarbone and shoves you into the back of the wall. And he is going to stick you once with the scalpel, like square in the stomach.
Y'all, I might die here.
You might.
It is a scalpel.
What is your AC?
Oh,
this
17.
I forgot. The Enshrinkening happened. This probably is a hit. He rolled a 24.
Yeah, 24 hits against a 17. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So he's going to hit.
Forgot the Enshrinkening? Joseph,
we
the bullshit that we have been
Enshrinkening.
complaining about since it happened.
I have other Pathfinder games that don't use the Enshrinkening rules, so I'm like 24. That's like right around their level for AC.
I think you over.
It's not.
This explains part of the reason why you are overconfident in our abilities. You're like, oh, you'll be fine. No, we're not. We're weaker than every other Pathfinder game.
Joe, I love you. Get his ass.
Yes.
Okay, so he hits you in the stomach with this scalpel, and he is going to deal 12 damage.
12? I cannot take another hit like that. 12 damage with a scalpel?
It is your turn. He has freakish strength, mind you.
Yeah. I think about all the choices I've made up to this point. Would I have done anything different, given the second chance? I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still subtracting health. Oh yeah, yeah. I cannot take another hit. Ew.
Uh-huh.
The only thing I have is to break free and start running, maybe?
You're slowed.
I'm slowed.
You're slowed. I will say if you manage to break free from the grapple, you can have one movement. One stride action, so you can move your speed.
Okay. How do I break free from this?
Roll me a... Wait, hold on. I need to check a rule really quick, because breaking free from a grapple is different from initiating a grapple.
Mm-hmm.
Where's the flow chart? I will, fuck it, roll me your choice between an athletics check or a fortitude save.
Okay. I will take that fortitude. At every turn I
You are met
I'm in hell.
with disaster.
Yeah, I'm in hell. Okay.
You're trying to bat his arm off and away from you, and then you bat it off, and he puts his other arm and bars you with like his offhand, and then you bat that one off, and he puts his other hand back on you, and it's just like this game of getting yourself free, but getting immediately like controlled in another way, and you just cannot get a break. You're too groggy. You're too sleep deprived. Your head is foggy. It is just, it's bad. It's really bad.
Okay. Can I still attack?
No. That is your one action.
Oh, right. One action. Thank you for
I'm so sorry.
No, you are.
I will give you.
So fair and true.
I am being very strictly by the numbers with this, and Lloyd is a lot stronger than I think you guys realize. So he is going to attack you again. You have every opportunity to speak as a free action. I will just say that for you now. Okay. He only has 2 actions. So he rears back with the scalpel, and you manage to keep your hands up and bar him from hitting you. He misses. It is like a pitched struggle between 2 people who are barely on the edge of consciousness, or barely above water for consciousness, and one of them has a incredibly sharp object, and the other does not. He's gonna strike again. He's gonna attempt to.
Wait, did he not hit with that first one?
No, he missed.
Oh.
And he missed with the second one too. It is the stalemate. He missed twice in a row with the same roll, or not same roll, but same result. With the same result. So he is like trying to he does the thing in movies where like somebody flips the knife backwards and plunges it towards the hero's face, and then the hero stops it just in time, and then you get to see the point of the knife getting really close to their face. Yeah. It's one of those. It's one of those moves where he's like struggling to try and press it into your face, but he just can't quite get there because he's been affected by this chemical. And you are keeping him at bay. It is your turn.
I'm in one of those situations where I feel like the risk I took was calculated.
But man, are you bad at math?
I am realizing I'm god awful at math.
Same, bestie.
I can't trust anyone but the most blunder. Okay, so I still only have 1 action, right?
Yes.
Are my attacks at a penalty?
No.
Okay. I'm gonna swing at him. And if I may, I would like to swing at his scalpel hand, if possible.
Do you want to try to disarm him? Yeah. That's a thing you can do. It will use your action, but you can attempt to disarm him.
Okay.
Go for it. Roll your attack roll. I will let you attempt to disarm him with the bone saw.
Thank you. Thank you, Chef.
Hylas kill.
Hylas, what is going on, man?
That is not Hylas kill.
You swing the bone saw and it gouges his hand. I will let you deal damage with this, but it will not disarm him. You cut into his hand, and he's still holding onto the scalpel, but he sees what you're trying to do. So go ahead and roll your damage. It's good damage.
Not bad.
Okay. You gouge into his hand. His hand is bleeding now. All over, like, his hand is bleeding. Your gut is bleeding. It's not looking good. That's your turn. So it goes back to Lloyd. Lloyd. Yep, he's still pushing you to the wall. He's just gonna roll again. He's gonna roll to hit you.
I'm a sitting duck. I'm just...
Okay. He rears back, and he goes for the gut again. Like, stops going for the face, and he's going to go for the opposite side and hit you on the right side of the gut instead of the left. And he is going to deal 8 damage.
Oh.
Are you still up?
I'm still up, but barely.
He has one more attack. Does an 18 hit?
An 18 does hit. I might
An 18 does
attempt...
hit.
Huh?
An 18 does hit.
An 18 hits. Let me take a look at this one feat, because I think I get it back per day, and I used it yesterday.
Yep.
Okay. I really feel myself exhausting all of the options. I'm gonna use
Lucky
my
escape.
lucky escape, which
Okay.
just means he has to roll the attack at disadvantage.
Okay. Reroll the attack twice and use the worst result. Okay. So I'll count this as disadvantage from a new set of rolls. Okay, he critically failed.
Hey, that's our boy.
I will give you a boon of your choice. What bad thing do you want to happen to him on a nat 1? Within reason, of course.
I think I want him to drop the scalpel.
Okay. I think that's a very good choice. So he gets you once in the gut again, and you feel yourself hanging on by a thread. He pulls the scalpel out, and you manage to use one of your free hands to slap his wrist in such a way that it sends the scalpel flying off to the side, skittering onto the ground and being lost in between two pieces of wood. Just slips through the floor. That is his second attack, so it's your turn, Hylas. All you get out of him is a frustrated, like, ugh.
Cool. My god. Okay, so I can't stay here? Am I still grappled?
Yes.
Okay.
Unless you want that nat 1 to count as him letting you go, I will also accept that.
To also count?
No, sorry, to instead count. To instead count as him letting you go. So you can have him drop the scalpel, but if you want, he can let you go.
Okay. I think I am better off with him having dropped the scalpel. I'm going to try to break through the grapple.
Go for it.
And that's a fortitude?
It is a fortitude.
Okay.
Twelve is not going to get there. He's too strong.
And that's my action, right?
Yep. Now it's his turn.
I may fall here, but I can say I tried.
I need to know really quick, Zell.
Yeah.
I need to know, just out of curiosity, how you feel about character death.
It's never happened to me before. Well, you know, with the very first D&D character I had, we did get a TPK, but like we weren't, you know, it was like baby's first adventuring party. We didn't really know how to deal with it back then.
Mm-hmm.
And now I've been at this for just about 10 years. I don't know, it's jarring.
But are you okay with it?
It's a weird question to have to grapple with.
Mm-hmm.
Because, you know, I'm very much for oh no, that's fair. That's what realistically would happen.
Okay.
I'm gonna be
Tell you what. You
Yeah.
think about it, because it's Lloyd's turn. And Lloyd's going to attack you with his bare fist. That is a modified 20. His fist does significantly less damage. Like, way less than the scalpel. Okay, yeah. 5 damage. Are you still up?
with 1 hit point.
Talking is a free action. He's gonna strike you again unless you tell him to stop.
It's such a hard choice for me to make. I feel like Hylas came into this very dead set on, you know, one of us is walking out of here.
Are you gonna tell him anything? Are you gonna try to communicate with him? Or are you just gonna let him swing? You don't think you can talk your way out of this one?
Well, I don't think I can, is the thing, but I feel like Hylas being literally on the verge of death, has that survival instinct. He might let out, like, a,
Yeah?
I'm trying to think. What is he letting out? What could he say in this moment?
Anything? Stop, wait. No, please?
Yeah, like, no. I think no is probably the best, response. He might also, I think he might also, call out for Aang.
Roll me a diplomacy check.
Okay. You know, Lloyd's breaking his contract with Aang.
So, I already rolled his attack roll, but I was giving you an opportunity to do something.
Yeah.
He rolled a nat 1. So he swings on you as you say no, and he whiffs it. He just, like, punches at your head. You dip your head in just the right way as you cry out, and his fist collides with the back wall, and he crunches his fingers. What do you want to do with the nat 1? I'll give it to you again.
If he's resorting to using his fists, that means he's probably holding me with the one hand.
Correct.
I would like to be let go of this grapple.
Okay. His other hand, like, holding you by the scruff of your collar. You can, like, yank his hand off or bite his fingers and make him let go or something. Like, whatever it takes for him to let go of you.
Can I bite?
Yes, you can bite his hand.
I would like to bite.
You bite down on his hand, and he like like yelps and yanks his hand out. You are free from the grapple, and now it's your turn. He's out of actions. He is missing a remarkably large number of times.
Well, all I can do at this point, I think, is try to get away.
Okay.
I have 1 hit point. I don't want to stay next to him.
Okay. You can get almost all the way up the ladder in 1 move. It is not far from where you are. You can get about halfway up the ladder. Is that what you want to do?
Halfway up the ladder, or...
Or?
I'm at 1 hit point. I guess I don't have the or, huh?
I don't know what your other option you're considering is.
Grabbing the boastful hunter was what I was considering. But that would keep me down here with the maniac longer.
With 1 hit point.
With 1 hit point.
Are you running?
I'm running.
Okay. You run, whip around the corner as he's reeling from the pain in the hand that you bit. You start climbing up the ladder, and you hear him just go, "No, no, no, no," and he starts chasing after you. He peels around the corner. Yes.
I have something for you.
What?
It's called this. I don't know if it helps me here.
Quick jump. As a single action.
Can I jump
don't.
up the ladder with this?
You
help me at all?
It takes a single action, which part of your action involves you moving to the ladder. And you only have 1 right now, so no.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Understood. You can't blame me for checking.
No, sure, of course. You still make it halfway up the ladder, feeling the fatigue in your legs, really like wishing you could just move a little bit faster and be a little bit less lethargic from whatever inhaled chemical you just got. Mm-hmm. But you are climbing up the ladder. Lloyd rips around the corner and is going to try to grab you and yank you off the ladder. Roll me a fortitude save as he goes to grapple you.
The problem is, I'm like not bad at any of these rolls that I've had to do. I'm just rolling like garbage.
Oh, yeah?
Oh.
You're due for a good roll. At some point, you're due. You nat 20'd earlier in the session. Just do that again.
Oh, just do it again.
Mm-hmm.
You're so right. Well.
Yeah, see? Just roll good.
22. Yeah.
He rushes up to go to grab you, and you, like, kick down at his hands. And his, like, he only has, like, 1.5 good hands now, because you bit the shit out of the other one. And as he reaches up to try and grab you off the ladder, you kick your foot. You hear the crunch of fingers. And he yelps, just like, "God!" And then yanks his hand back. And now it's your turn, because he had to use 2 actions to run over there and try to grab you. So it's your turn. You can get up and out and almost to the front door.
I would like to get up and out.
Yep.
I only have 1 action, right?
You only have 1 action. Unless you want to try to work out a deal where you get something good and get something bad happen. What are you thinking?
I was thinking I wanted to try slamming the basement door behind me.
Slamming it, locking it?
Yeah, is the lock nearby?
You can't tell from where you're at. You're not out of the gate, or not out of the hole yet. You would imagine it's probably still somewhere up top.
Okay.
What's the play?
With one hit point.
Yep. Yeah. With one hit point.
So he's at the bottom of the ladder.
Yes.
Actually, how's the ladder attached? It's metal, right?
No, it's wooden.
Oh.
It's a wooden ladder. And it is like basically like built in to the structure. It's part of the hatch and the floor.
Okay, so it's not like
kickable. No.
Kickable. No. Okay.
Good try. Good try.
I have to hustle in these times.
Mm-hmm.
I think I just I gotta sprint to the door.
You will be basically at the door with it closed. As you sprint up the ladder, you round the corner around the counter, you make it almost to the door. You can see the front door and the daylight in like of the next day. It's Lloyd's turn. Lloyd is going to sprint up behind you. Climbs up the ladder, rushes up behind you. You hear the stomping of his feet as he charges up, and he is going to try to tackle you. He's just going to full body, like, lean into it to tackle you.
Okay.
Roll me a reflex save.
Okay.
That's really good. Okay. He sprints up, and you can hear him stomping behind you, and then you hear dunk, 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 and then no footsteps. And you know what's coming. You dip to the side, and Lloyd flies waist level past you and skids to a halt and like bangs, falls onto the ground with a huge thump. That's Lloyd's turn. He had to move and he tried to tackle you, so it's your turn again. Out the door.
I think it's out the door.
Out the door. You charge forward. Elbow check or shoulder check the door. Slam it open. You are in the open air. You see that there are like people going about their daily lives, kind of walking around in the street. A couple people hear the door like slam because you barrel into it. It opens all the way up, slams against the wall, and some people who are walking by just kind of turn their heads like, oh, that was a loud noise. I'm just kind of casually looking around. And you are outside, exhausted out of your mind, but you're out. It's Lloyd's turn. Lloyd is going to get up, and he is going to rush over to you. And that is both of his actions. It takes an action to stand up. So he rushes over to you and stops behind you and sees everyone. Not everyone, but like sees a bunch of people, like a scattering of probably 8 to 9 people in the area who can see that you've both just slammed out a side of a building. And Lloyd is just frozen there.
Screaming is a free action.
He does not know what to do. It is your turn, Hylas.
About what time is it? Can I tell from?
It's about 8 a.m.
Okay.
Maybe a little bit earlier. What's the play?
Scream, buddy.
Just scream. Start shouting.
Okay.
Just scream.
I think it is the reasonable move. I think I have one more dumb play to make.
Oh my god.
We love to hear it. What's the play?
So,
What is the dumb play?
Let Aang go, or I scream.
Oh shit! Okay.
He is haggard. He is bleeding. He is sweating. And he knows that screaming's a free action.
Okay. In this moment, everyone is kind of looking at you. People have stopped. People have stopped because of like the sudden action, and there's this beat where no one is really like doing anything, and they're just trying to see what's playing out because there's blood on both of you. There's visible blood on both of you. You have a gut wound. You have 2 gut wounds. And before anyone starts to act in any sort of way, you ask him to let Aang go. He like you can't, you're not looking at him, he's behind you, and you hear this like almost stammering of just uh, sh- he nods his head and he'll say, okay, just come back inside.
No. And he takes a step back. Let her go.
You can see like the panic in his face, and he is just like, no, I promise to let her go. Come back inside.
Hylas takes another step back. That card's not in your hand. Let her go.
He's starting to like grind his teeth. You can almost hear it despite being like 5 to 10 feet away from him. People who are kind of standing around, there's like a few men and women who are just kind of like, wait, are they bleeding? What's going on? He just kicked open the door. Like a few of them are starting to kind of step a little bit closer to investigate.
I think for flavor, Hylas is starting to shake because of how uneasy this answer is for him. I think while he hasn't confirmed that Aang is dead, I think this is sort of a point where he is trying to deny that reality in this interaction with Lloyd.
Okay.
He takes another step back. He's not breaking eye contact with Lloyd.
Lloyd is panicked right now. He sees you take another step back. Are you doing anything else with your action? It's still your turn. You have one action. It's okay to say no. And just leave him with the ultimatum.
Yeah, right now we're at the bargaining phase. Hylas, sees that he's currently unarmed. Lloyd is, and right now, all of his physical ability is, if he tries anything funny, I'm running.
Okay.
Running and screaming is. Yeah.
I'm gonna roll a check for Lloyd.
Okay.
Okay. That's your turn. It's Lloyd's turn. Lloyd looks at you, and he looks around at some of the people, and he turns and bolts back inside, slams the door, and you hear a lock.
There's mild shock on Hylas's face.
We're out of combat now.
Hylas looks to the front door. He's gonna wait a moment. In denial, he's thinking, oh, maybe he's really gonna bring Aang out. But there is an inner dialogue that's fighting off what he thinks really happened, what he kind of knows is the case.
Okay. You are standing there in a stupor as your... What's the opposite of a captive? Kidnapper.
Captor.
Captor. You're right. Captor. As your captor has ran back inside and locked the door, seemingly giving up on whatever bargain you were trying to work out with him, just bailing on it entirely, leaving you outside in public with 2 gaping chest wounds and a bloody cut of a window into your arm. Clearly drugged up as well. Also, not really necessarily high, but just drugged out of your mind. And as you kind of have this moment where you're just standing there, reeling from the shock of it, we're going to jump to a slightly different area of the city as some other people are leaving. So, let me do this one. Okay. So, the rest of the crew, that is to say, Anissa, Michonne, Willow, technically Paige, but Paige and Pierre are going to be doing their own thing. The rest of you have gotten up early. The boys are with you, but they are exhausted because they searched throughout the night. They are going to take a break unless you want them to search with you against as much as against their preference, which is what they would rather not do.
I guess they're given a nap.
Okay.
Ooh, new picture.
So Yeah, I found this sometime later, and I thought it was a good representation of Murcott with like the kind of stoneworky buildings and tents. But as you are gearing up and heading out, there is a bit of commotion in the center of the city, which you have to kind of cross through as you leave the Knight's Inn. The judges, the police force, the judges are out today, which is very out of the norm. Anissa, you would know that the judges usually they don't really patrol that often, rarely if ever. What they normally do is if there's something going on, they will come out, like if there is an important shipment or if there's an important a VIP coming in and they need to escort them. It seems to be that there's a crowd gathering as people are coming to see, and it could be a delivery, it could be a VIP, but anybody who comes into the city has to cross through Lower Murcott. So they are coming in through the city and up to the upper city. And as you are all seeing this crowd gather, you hear a noise that none of you have heard before, or at least not a noise that none of you really have a good frame of reference for. It is like a metallic popping, whirling noise. Above table, it is an engine. It is a vehicle engine. An old vehicle engine, but a vehicle engine. The turning and popping and smoking of a vehicle. As you kind of go, your pathway to get to the southern part of the city is obstructed by the crowd. And I'm imagining you all just walk up to the crowd to see what's going on, rather than take the long detour to get all the way around it.
Yeah.
Is that the case?
Like trying to push their way through the back end of it, I imagine.
Mm-hmm. As you kind of elbow your way up and through, you can see that the judges have created a sort of barrier line with their bodies as they stand. And you can see an old school automobile as it rolls into the city. And you see, Willow, someone you would recognize anywhere just by name alone, but you would recognize him by virtue of his name, I should say. In this vehicle, there are two seats. There is a front seat where a single driver sits behind a wheel of this old jalopy, and a rear seat, which is a much bigger, wider, open convertible kind of 2 or 3 person seat. But instead of 2 or 3 people, it is one man who is massive. He is wide and tall. His head is bald. He wears a very fine suit. And he is casually just like he's in a parade. He is waving to people and smiling and nodding. This man, let me see if I can find his picture here, is none other than Barnaby Biggs.
Yeah, fuck.
Fuck indeed.
Yeah, kind of Kingpin. Not gonna lie.
Let me find, where's the NPC chat? Here we go. Barnaby. A truly massive human being.
Oh, fun.
But as you are rolling forward, or as you are standing there watching him roll forward in his what is now state of the art and brand new car, which is something that pretty much, like basically no one has seen in this area. No one has ever seen an automobile. This is like a first of its kind invention, and he is just casually rolling up in it. And you can hear people like pointing and gasping in wonder, like, "Oh my God, it's pulled without a horse. What is that noise?" Just marveling at it. The police kind of continuing to escort him and let him slowly progress his way through the crowd. They're closing in behind him to let people go, to start going past. You can press up right to the edge of the line of guards so that you can see more fully the driver and him. Are you going to do anything? Anyone trying anything?
Hear Willow kind of curse under her breath as she figures out who it is, and just incline her head towards Odessa and Michonne. Well, I think we need to find Hylas as soon as possible. I think Mr. Biggs right there is going to have some issue with Hylas if he spots him. Beyond that,
any particular reason why?
He's the one that hired Hylas to try and find and capture Abigail.
I see.
And we can be assured that whatever he's going to be doing in this city, this far from... Is it Starwick he's from?
Yeah, Starwick.
This far from Starwick. Well, this city's about to get a lot more chaotic than it already is. But beyond that, she's not doing anything to like try and attract attention or like cause trouble at the moment. She just wants to get through and ideally avoid Mr. Biggs.
It's easy enough to avoid him. He's currently basking in the attention of the masses of people who have gathered on the outside of the police line. So he is very, very much distracted. As the police line collapses in behind him and starts to let the crowd move in a normal way, there are people who have, like, horses and carriages that have been sort of backed up due to the quote-unquote, like, traffic, so to speak. So there are people making deliveries and pulling in carts from outside the city wall as they've been delayed. You can actually see that there are several, like, clearly delivery vehicles. Like, rather than having a carriage, it is a giant, like, wagon bed. And there are men who are, like, steering a set of horses forward so that they can deliver, like, all of the material goods that they need to deliver. As you see that, like, these people are moving in forward and kind of struggling their way through the crowd of people who are a mix of, like, dispersing as well as following. As this, like, raucous kind of chaos happens, you notice something, Willow. You notice that the carriage that is one of the carriages coming in that is, like, packed pretty full, bears a symbol that you recognize. It bears the symbol of the Kinsla family. The family from Termark that runs the museum. And in the tumultuous, like, chaos of, like, people walking on foot and following after Barnaby Biggs and moving in and out of the way. The horses stop and start and stop and start, and the wagon like jostles to and fro. And then a box falls off of the back of the wagon and just shatters on the ground, just splits open. Packing hay goes everywhere. The box has completely been destroyed. And then two people like disembark from the carriage. One of them is already yelling in a very heavy Irish accent, like pointing at the person and jabbing his finger at the box. It's one of those like, what the fuck are you doing? Kind of hand gestures and yelling. Mm-hmm. And Michonne, as you see these people like yelling and fussing with this box, you actually recognize them. You see the first one, who is Uncle Colin. You know him. He is currently chewing out a younger, smaller looking person. Can you roll me a perception check, Michonne? '21. Michonne, as you see this kind of familiar face. Well, yeah, just familiar face. You see this familiar face chewing out somebody. The person, like, awkwardly nods their head and, like, takes their lumps. They are getting chewed out for good reason. Supposedly. This person, like, runs around the edge of where the shattered box is and starts to kind of right it and collect everything that was inside. As they turn around to grab the box and lift it up, you can see that it is your face lifting the box.
Giuseppe, middle name James.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What the heck, man?
What are you doing? Are you doing anything?
Am I filled with the urge?
It's up to you. Do you want to be filled with the urge? Do you think Michonne would be filled with the urge?
There's a hint of the urge.
Mm-hmm.
Willow's leading the group, right?
I assume so, I guess, at this point.
Mm-hmm. I imagine so, yeah.
It's Michonne, Anissa, and Willow. Nobody else.
Mm-hmm.
I don't...
Tim, you're quiet.
My mic is right next to my mouth.
Speak with your diaphragm.
Okay, I'm sorry, is this better?
I'm pleased I killed Kira tonight. Yeah. I guess Willow's leading because I don't picture Anissa pushing through the crowd at point.
Certainly not.
I think there's a moment when Michonne sees Bellamy where his stare kind of lingers. Probably not for too long, but significant enough time. And then he'll not quite shove past Willow, but at least, like, continue ushering her forward. You're probably right. Better find her Hyla sooner than later.
Was the roll to see if Michonne went on a murder spree? In the middle of a crowd?
Not on a murder spree.
Not a spree. It's only one guy.
Yeah, it's one dude.
Oh boy. Yeah. I mean, Willow's not. Because she doesn't fucking. She knows the Kinslas in general, but she doesn't fucking know them. And unless there was some, like, fucking, like, explosion that happened out of the crate, she has no reason to, like, divert, so she just keep going. Fuck these people. Fuck this crowd.
Mm-hmm. Fuck this shit, you're out.
Yep.
Okay. You carefully walk past. As you are walking past the broken box and the stopped Kinsla cart, you come, Michonne, probably within 20 to 30 feet of Bellamy. If you want to hide or cover your face or do anything, you'll need to roll me a stealth check.
I think I will.
Did you say, I don't think I will?
I don't think I will.
Okay. Yeah, okay. As you are walking past, I'm gonna roll a check really quick. Okay. So as you are walking past, Uncle Colin has walked up to the front of the cart. He is currently not in eye line. He walks up to the front of the cart to do something, and you see, as the crowd is kind of moving and milling about, people walking to and from across your field of vision, you see Bellamy more clearly. And in that moment where you kind of get that feeling on the back of your neck where somebody's watching you, you see Bellamy like kind of perk up, eyebrows kind of furrow, and he looks over his shoulder and scans the crowd, and his eyes land on you. And there is this distinct moment where both of you see each other. And Bellamy is frozen, holding the box. Artifacts, whatever was inside, just shattered and on the ground. And you keep walking. Bellamy just stares at you, frozen and unsure what to do, until you get far enough away that Uncle Colin comes back around and starts yelling again. You're taking forever. Hurry up. Load it back on the cart. And you leave.
Mr. God, what's the timeline like between Candela and now?
Everything that happened from the Candela session has already happened. So this is a new one.
And it's only been like a few months since then, right?
Yeah. In the least, it's been like maybe a few weeks, but actually, wait, that happened. Yeah, you're super right. I'm bad at time. That happened like over a month ago. A month and a half. Yeah, you're super right. A month and a half ago would have been like the events of the Candela game.
I think Michonne's my thought process right now is out of sight, out of mind.
Okay. You turn your eyes to the front to follow or lead, walk in tandem with Willow and Anissa and Page of Year as everyone is walking forward. But you feel that sensation of being watched, the eyes in the back of your head, eyes looking at you, looking at the back of your head. And it lingers for a good 30 or 40 seconds before it stops. And you all make it past the crowd of people, past the procession of Barnaby Biggs in his new fancy automobile. And you make your way over to the convent. At the convent, as you go to pick up the nun brigade, Abigail is dutifully waiting. She considers herself part of the nun brigade, so she is absolutely here to help with the search. Unless you pointedly discourage her from doing so. She is ready and waiting.
With the Biggs in town, I don't know if she's safer here or safer with us.
Does he know exactly who she is?
He seemed to have some vague idea for him to be able to point Hylas in the right direction, I think is what we came to the conclusion.
He has a vague idea.
But he doesn't know who she is exactly. Like, I don't know that he knows exactly what she looks like.
I think you know enough to know that if Barnaby saw her, like saw a young, willowy looking blonde teenager in a crowd, he would probably make a beeline for them. That's at least what I imagine you're putting together in your brain.
Use me to like Google something.
Hylas definitely would have said the instructions he was given, which matched that description.
Would she not have a coronet?
A what?
A
At the right
nun's hat. She did get at least a hat when she was buying outfits at the very minimum.
Yeah. She's got a hat. She was probably offered a coronet, but she opted to take the hat she was bought.
Well, we've not heard Kira. Kira, thoughts on Abigail, yes or no?
I mean, you know.
Yeah?
She can come. I think she's probably safer with the group. I do think that if she comes, she's probably going to see things she does not want to see. And Aang may never win her trust back. But as for safety, she's probably safer with the party.
We're gonna do a thing. Like Willow's just like staring really hard at Abigail. And it's an alteration, if you'll allow, of tweak appearances. Because tweak appearances allows for like better performance and stuff, but like the text of it's like you better make him better match the situation.
Yeah.
We're gonna take some extra cloth and stuff and kind of like wrap her hair up nice and tight on her head and then put the hat over it so that you can't see the blonde underneath. There is no hair poking out.
She like before you did this, she's like, yeah, she was like, I just want to help. Just let me help. And you're just like, okay, fine. And then you tidy up her hair, tuck every last little blonde strand in and under her hair, button it up and put the hat down. And she is like super confused, but if that's all it takes for her to be able to help, she's like, okay, can I come?
Willow does that, and, like, double checks her work for a second, and then we'll meet Abigail's, like, straight on, like, eye to eye. We have been saying from the very start of all this that it's all about getting you to make your decisions for your life. The man that hung out high list to come find you is in town.
The man who was... Oh. Is he looking for me, you think? Still?
Yeah, more than likely.
She shivers at the idea.
If you stay here, you
There is...
probably won't come across him. He doesn't seem the type to go visiting a nunnery. But if you want to come, I won't stop you. But you must keep your hair hidden as much as humanly possible.
She kind of touches like the cover job you did and touches the edge of her hat. And she really thinks about it. Like, you see her actually consider, like, do I want to go out there when now that I know someone out in the city is looking for me, someone who was looking for me enough to hire people to look for me is out there. And she grapples with that for a second. And like Willow and Anissa and Michonne, like you all have enough emotional intelligence to know that there is like a desperate sort of futility of her just like, why can't I be left alone? There is this silent frustration or plea, whatever you want to call it, but she resigns herself to it. She accepts her fate, and she nods. I want to help. I'll hide my hair. I'll be careful. But
Go ahead.
She just hesitates and says, I won't be able to live with myself if I don't help somehow.
Will not. I'll stay within reach of me and Michonne.
She nods. She will reach out and like take Michonne's hand.
He'll take hers and like guide it around his elbow.
She'll follow dutifully by your side. You've got the Nun Brigade, and you are walking into the southern section of town. Now, we're going to transition to someone we haven't heard from yet as you go to search. Aang, you are in a dark place.
You don't say.
Let me see. This one. You are in a dark place. There is nothing to grab onto. There's no object for your eyes to rest on. There's no floor for your feet to rest on. You are in a dark void of nothing. And then, out of nothing, there is a sensation. It's dull, but you can feel it. In your gut, in your stomach. You feel something rooting around. And in an almost surreal, out-of-body experience, the room starts to gently manifest around you. First the floor, the wooden floors that creak, and then the table/chair you are splayed out on, like opened wide like a book. Then all of the pods of weirdlings who came before you. And then the ceiling and the walls, the window, but there's no light coming in from the window. It's just darkness. All of these things start to trickle in. And the last thing to trickle in is Lloyd himself. Lloyd, who you see frantically descend the ladder. Hylas is not in the room. Hylas is gone. The chair is empty. And as you experience this sort of third-person out-of-body experience, you see Lloyd rummage through his desk, grab a handful of chemicals, different bottles of something, as he rushes over to you. He splashes 1, 2, or 3 on your insides, which are still wet somehow, still fresh in a bizarre way. He turns, grabs a few jars of blood that he has siphoned from you and from Hylas. And then he turns back to your corpse. And he takes a step over to it. And you can see, as you are having this out-of-body experience, you see the wild panic in his eyes. You see the pure deranged nature that lies just beneath the surface of his calm exterior. Whatever has happened in the time that you have been completely out and now, it has left him backed into a corner. And you are seeing in real time what a wild animal is capable of when backed into an absolute corner. He turns and looks at the jars of blood. He grabs a small one of blood that he has taken from you. And he opens it, just tossing the lid into the corner of the room without any care. And he drinks it, gulps it down frantically, spilling some over the edges of his mouth, staining his coat. He drinks the full mason jar's worth of blood and tosses it into the corner, shattering the glass. He grabs another mason jar of blood and drinks that one. He goes for a third mason jar, but stops. And his eyes settle on you, the vibrating, wild pupils that are dilated to pinpricks settle on your corpse, your perfect corpse. He sets the jar down. And he walks over to your dead and open body. And he reaches his hands in and scoops out the something that was in you. And you see him hesitate, just for a moment, before he starts to eat what is inside of you.
Oh,
Whatever flesh and viscera is in there, he starts to wild and almost frantically consume. There is blood and meat chunks on his face and his hands. His hands are shaking. His breath is like panicked. He looks around the room, almost certain that someone is watching, though he can't prove that anyone is. After he eats his fill, he wipes his mouth. And he turns away, runs his hands through his hair, rubs his face, coming to terms with what he is and what he does. He looks at his hands, which are stained and mottled with viscera and blood. Doesn't seem to know what to do next. Just breathing quickly and panicked in a dark room. He whips around, grabbing on to the wall to hold himself steady. He looks at your corpse one more time. He carefully walks up to it, his breathing calming just a little bit. And he brushes his hand against your cheek. He opens his mouth to say something, but it catches in his throat. He strokes your hair and tucks it behind your ear. And he turns to go, but stops. Turns back to your corpse. He will pull one last fistful of viscera out. And he will fold your skin back closed. He takes the viscera and casually takes a bite of it, marring his face with more blood. He turns around and goes to grab a doctor's bag from his desk. He takes a rag and wraps the viscera in it. He takes vials of blood from you and from Hylas. Not all of them, but some of them. And shoves them into his bag. He grabs a fistful of surgical tools, some dirty and some clean, throws them into his bag. Clips the bag shut. Looks at your corpse one more time. And goes to the ladder. When he's out of view, climbing up the ladder, silently and slowly, your skin begins to stitch back together. As you are slowly knitting yourself into one piece again, there is a moment where you feel relief almost, like you'll be back. You'll be seated again where you should be. But this has never happened before. Not in this way. You've never had an experience where you are out of your body. It's always been first person, for lack of a better explanation. And now it's third. And you watch. And there is a lingering anxiety that you can't place. And your body stitches together. Your fingers twitch. and then your cheeks. As life slowly starts to come back to it. A life. And now we're going back to Hylas.
Oh man.
Hylas, you are standing outside of Lloyd's doctor's office / home. What do you do?
So I think after a bit of time, Hylas had that ultimatum. And if Lloyd didn't come out with Aang, I think he might have started shouting.
What do you shout?
I think it starts with a hoarse, crackly, help. And he kind of bolsters his resolve, kind of knowing that he's shouting, and that's sort of an acceptance that Aang's not coming out. So he just sort of holds his arm and starts shouting, help! Someone! Anyone!
The
And he's
people who
shouting.
were standing...
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
He's just shouting help after that repeatedly.
The bystanders who were watching this earlier, some of whom have started to turn away and just assume like, okay, everything must be okay because nothing's happening. Like, yeah, they're dirty, but I don't want to get involved. As you start to shout help, all of them turn and start to walk towards you. All of them rush over, collect around you. You hurt? What happened? Who is that man? Are you okay? Your arm. And then people noticing your stab wounds, like, oh my god, we need to get you to a doctor. And then someone says, a different doctor.
He's shaking his head, and it's a little nerve-wracking being surrounded by people, being the center of attention and willingly putting himself in that situation. But he's shaking his head and he goes, no, my friend, he still has her.
Roll me a diplomacy check. $13.
He's, you know, I'll say, like, the diplomacy might not be strong. He's kind of shirking off people who are like, hey, you need medical attention. He's like, yeah, the fuck I do. He's scanning the crowd, because I don't think he necessarily wants any of these people. He wants his people.
Your quiet protests fall on deaf ears as some of the people there just kind of shush you. It's like, shh, we're going to help you. Just hold on. And they start to carry you to a bench that is nearby to sit you down.
No.
Some of the people...
Help me, help her!
They tear off parts of their clothing, like part of their sleeve or part of their collar, to blot the wound on your stomach. One of the wounds on your stomach.
He's still in there doing God knows what.
As you are frantically pointing at them to try and get them to turn around, to notice that someone else is still there. One of the people who you are talking to starts to turn and notice and just go, "Someone's in there?"
Yeah, I think Hylas is sort of pushing himself to make eye contact with that person away from like this crowd, despite being sat down in this bench. He goes, yeah, he's dangerous.
He holds up a hand, like, "Don't say any more." Like he understands. He rolls up his sleeves and just goes, "I'll go get her. Or I'll go get him."
But
And he starts to run to go in the house.
who was that guy?
It's
Yeah,
just
I
a
think
random
Hylas,
civilian.
yeah, I think Hylas is sort of like trying to tear himself away from these people, giving him medical attention. He's exhausted, but he's saying, "No, not alone, not."
Roll me a fortitude save.
Okay. Okay.
You weren't done yet. You weren't done.
I'm not
You're
done.
you're not emotionally out of the basement. So as
Basement's a state
this
of being,
person,
apparently.
it truly is, as this person rushes to go to get your friend back from the house, because you said there's a friend in there. You protest and go to protest, but the words don't find enough air in your lungs. There's not enough energy. There's not enough gas left in the tank. You are spent. You're at 1 health, and the drugs have started to fully take effect. You start to pass out. Do you have any last things you want to say before you completely lose consciousness?
I think just no, somebody help him. That maniac's gonna. Yeah, I think that's all he has in him. I
Okay.
don't think in his state anything particularly helpful is coming to him. He's freaked out. He's alone.
Mm-hmm. Okay. You're unconscious. You can hear people shouting like, "Don't let him fall over. Sir, wake up, please." And then the darkness comes for you. And you're out. With the others who are coming to investigate, it will take you some time to carefully scan the city. You don't have to roll for it. Unless you want to gamble it. I was just going to say after about an hour and a half to 2 hours, you would find a crowd that would lead you to Hylas. But if you want to gamble for it, you can. If you win, it'll be shorter. If you lose, it'll be longer than 2 hours. We'll leave that up to you all to decide.
Foundry wants these two dead, so I'm not rolling shit. Because Foundry has an agenda.
Okay. Michonne and Nissa,
Michonne is Team Gamble.
Team Gamble.
Oh, I mean, when you say roll to gamble, like what? Like
It would
what?
be a society check. You would have advantage because you have the Nun Brigade. It would be a society check, or a diplomacy check.
Society's one ones I'm good at.
I'm not gonna roll. I'm fine with 2 hours.
Yeah, fine with 2 hours.
Okay. No gambling. Okay. So, 2 hours later, as you are searching, one of the many nuns who you've given a description to for Hylas and Aang would, through the grapevine, find both of you and panickedly tell you, I saw them. They were taken to a nearby tavern just because there's no other doctor's office in the area. Something was wrong with the first one? I'm not sure. Maybe the doctor's out?
Well, lead the way, little nun.
She will lead the way. You follow this nun until she leads you to a tavern called Crook's. Hello, Rosemary did come along. Rosemary is helping. But in the southern-ish section, it's kind of on the border, but it is a safe place. It's a bit seedy, but it is an otherwise like safe establishment. People know it well. As you rush in there, you can see finally the group of you, Abigail included, see Hylas laid out flat on a bench seat, his arm bandaged, his stomach bandaged, his face partially bruised and split lip, maybe. Aang is nowhere to be seen, though.
I mean, I guess Willow will kind of rush forward and shoo away anybody that is near him to get to him.
People left and right, like, start to part. Like the Red Sea, you part them.
He is alive, though.
Is alive. 1 HP, but alive. Standing beside him, not in your way, but to the side, you see two people. A dark-skinned man who's very broad, very wide-shouldered, big-chested man with dreads that have been pulled back into a tight, not sort of bun behind his head. He wears like a loose-fitted kind of linen shirt, and beside him, a woman with similar hair, pulled back, with a red bandana. And they both look towards Hylas and you. Do you know him? Is he your friend?
Willow nods. Yes, he's one of our traveling companions. What happened to him?
I'm not sure. When we got to him, he was already unconscious. I don't know what kind of wounds these are, but they're sharp. Very brutal wounds. Whoever did this did it intentionally. It was not a simple fight.
We'll kind of pause to inspect the wounds.
You kind of undo some of the bandages a little bit, and he points to the arm as the most strange wound. And as you unwrap it, pull the wound out, or pull the bandage off and look at the wound, you can see the box-shaped cut in the arm. Like a very intentional line, and then another line, and then another line. And then the woman who is standing next to you with the red bandana, she gestures. His skin was, well, severed. I'm not sure what to make of it. It's really bad. And I'm not sure why, but she gestures to him like from head to toe, which you can't really see it. There's paint all over the wounds. Like here. And she reaches a hand forward and kind of crinkles it around Hylas's shirt, around one of the stab wounds. It's like red paint. It's not blood.
Frowns and we'll start to rebandage the wounds, and she can have any. Well, I'm assuming healing potions aren't super common.
No.
Whatever tucked away emergency herbs and shit that she might have that she feels like she can safely apply to help for the moment.
Yeah.
She will start to apply.
Yeah, okay.
As that's happening, I think Anissa would step forward in her prayer, and she cast heal.
You can, but
that's magic in a crowd.
It's magic in a crowd.
It's faith healing. It's not her. It's him.
You will have to convince everyone in the room that God is here and he has intervened.
She's been praying. There's just these two people with bandanas. They seem cool.
They do seem cool. I will tell you that for free. They do seem cool. Listen, I'm not going to tell you what you do, but you can cast heal. You'll just need to be ready to make some diplomacy checks immediately afterward.
Diplomacy or well, okay, we'll get to that. I'm gonna cast it.
Fucking welcome to weird. You're a caster and you can't cast when you're near people.
Are you doing the 1 action, or 2 action, or 3 action?
I mean, I guess I'll do the 2 action with concentrate.
Gotcha.
So this one.
So you will heal by 1d8 plus 8.
Does the button work?
Possibly. Go roll healing.
Roll. Oh,
Does it need a token?
wait, no. Wait. It says 2d8 plus 16. Is that correct?
Oh, because it's heightened. You're casting it at level 2.
Mhm.
Yeah, because it's my fine font or whatever.
Okay, yeah. 30!
Thank you
Okay.
for my life.
Is B, he's with us.
I think
You do that,
Continues to pray.
Willow?
I didn't say anything.
Oh, I thought you were saying something.
That was Charlie.
While Anissa's praying and Willow's tending to Hylas, Michonne will give a tap to Abigail's hand and lean in towards her. I think he has a tip to her, actually.
I can't hear them.
Oh, no.
It's because you're so quiet, Jim.
Are you sure that
Literally,
you're
I'm
connected
eating my mic.
Now you're eating your mic.
That's better. That's better.
You
might
gotta,
have
like,
to
your sensitivity
boost.
settings or something.
You might have to boost the ghost.
Yeah.
Is this better?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Michonne is going to give a tap to Abigail's hand and tiptoe up towards her because he has to do that. And say, like, I think you should be by his side when he wakes up.
She almost flinches because she was just like so caught up with all of the damage he's taken. And she looks at you and she looks back to him. And without looking to you, she nods at what you said. You're right. And she squeezes your hand and then we'll let go and walk up to Hylas. Meanwhile, in this crowd of people, which is, I think, mostly the group now, there's probably like 4 or 5 non-people or non-group members in the room with this little crowd. Hylas, what is your total hit points after 30 health is restored?
Considering that I was at 1, that would be 31.
No, like, out of how much?
Oh, okay. Out of 4.
You kind of walked into that one, I'm not gonna lie.
Shut up.
Out of 46.
Okay, so you're mostly healed. You are still fatigued.
2/3.
But you, as you wave your hand over him, Anissa, the wounds, because they are bandaged, don't seem to fade, but the bruises fade, and the split lip heals, and the two people who were talking to you, the woman and the man with bandanas on, they both like look at each other wide-eyed, and they both immediately stand up, just like, give him some space, just back up, like telling the other NPCs and other people, just like, just give him a second, shooing them away.
Yeah, Hylas's eyes start opening, and as he gains consciousness, his eyes go wide as he realizes he's awake. The first thing out of his mouth as he shoots forward, sitting up, is Aang, Abigail?
Hi, I was worried about you. I heard you went missing.
There is fear on his face. Usually, usually Hylas is seen with his vacant, pleasant smile. There is just terror written across his face as his eyes dart back and forth. And he goes, "What? You shouldn't be. We're saying."
I don't know. Was she with you? Where is Aang? She reaches down and takes your hand.
He sort of lets it happen, but he is shaking. She was. We were in that basement, and she. He's looking around, like scanning the area, taking note of the change of scenery, the people who are here. And he's sort of scrambling to find his words. He says, there was this maniac. What was his? And he sort of like strains, furrowing his brow, and he goes, Floyd,
The woman beside you with her hair tied up says, "Are you talking about the doctor, Lloyd?"
His eyes widen. He nods.
What about him?
Had us both down there all night. He looks at his wounds. And he goes, did all this to me, and his hand's still down there.
I think that's when Willow stands, which was kind of, I guess, hidden slightly behind Abigail with where she was positioned, stands up and looks pointedly at the others. Was he not with a woman? Tall, pale complexion, dark dress.
Wait, sorry, was that to the two?
Yes.
Oh. They both look at each other and they shake their heads. No, he was alone. He was on a bench outside the doctor's office.
What
When
doctor?
we got to him, Lloyd Valentine. He's a local apothecary and physician.
Willow just hand over face, cursing in a couple of languages. Looks to Hylas, like over Abigail's shoulder. She was down there with you all night, you said.
She was still down there when I left.
She'll turn very abruptly towards the two tavern, I assume tavern keepers.
Yes.
Take us to that doctor's office, Valentine's. Now.
Of
How
course.
close is Willow standing?
Probably by his legs, essentially.
He uses the free hand that is not in Abigail's hand to grab you by the sleeve. And he goes, wait, he's dangerous.
See how dangerous he is when there's a crowd.
The concern on Hylas's face softens slightly. And I think he's gonna say, he had others. And yeah, how's he gonna relay this information? Yeah, there were others before us. All of them hell down there, I guess. Dead now. He's a killer.
Willow's like lips tighten just a little bit, and she'll nod, and she'll kind of shift her hand and like give Hylas's arm a little squeeze. She looks back towards the tavern keepers. Do you have messengers, runners for the city?
They look. The woman looks at you and just goes, "Yes, we have the Explorers Guild. There's probably a runner nearby here."
She nods and kind of looks around. Could she spot a sigil of anybody currently in the tavern that's Explorers Guild?
Yeah, for sure. There's got to be at least one person in the room who's like at least partially, someone who's at least partially invested, who's an explorer.
Willow kind of looks around, spots them. Will point at them directly. You get to the, what is it? Night something night inn.
The Night's Inn.
The Night's Inn. Get to the Night's Inn as quickly as you can. There's 2 hunters from Tamlocked in there. Tell them to get to lead them to this doctor's office.
The explorer like nods his head and just goes, right away. Okay. And he does a quick salute and then we'll hustle out the door. Abigail grabs your arm. Are you going to find Aang? Should I come?
No. Hylas squeezes her hand.
You stay with Hylas, Abigail. Seems like he needs some support.
She crouches down and looks at Hylas and will nod.
He
Okay.
looks a little sheepish when you say that, Willow.
And she pauses. And like looks at them and then like there's a thought and she'll kind of crouch down till she's more even with them again and meet Hylas's eye. And you need to be careful. It might be best to try and get back to the inn yourself. Your former employer has come to town.
The intense fear that was, fear and worry that has been on his face loops right back around into, like, zero thoughts on the faces. You can only process this as he is short-circuited. Like, oh god, another thing. With nothing going to his face, he just holds Abigail's hand tighter.
Okay.
And I think at that, like, we'll just kind of like look between the two of them, and then we'll look towards the tavern keepers. So, we thank you for all that you've done in the space that you've given him. Could I bother the two of you to see these two safely back to the Night's Inn? I'll pay you for all your services and any damage to furniture.
Of course, it's no trouble. And the woman shakes her head and just goes, no trouble at all. I'll take you, or here. And she gestures to the big man. Team, you take them to the doctor. I'll lead them back to the Night's Inn. The big man, his name is, or at least was called Keem, he nods. Okay, let's go. And they lead you out the door of the of what's it called? Oh my God, Crooks. Out the door of Crooks. And down the street. And as you are rushing there, we will snap back to our favorite pale corpse in the basement.
You really know how to hype somebody up, Joe.
I lost my thread of cool words.
I sure do love Egg. She's such a pale corpse.
Sorry.
You're the real pale corpse of the party.
I know, it's the heart, the soul, the leader, the pale corpse. You have to have one.
Look, I'm sorry, okay? I meant it affectionately. So, Aang,
Mm-hmm.
in the basement, you see yourself third person still. The wounds that you have sustained stitch themselves up. And over the course of those 2 hours, you feel a growing, burbling presence in the back of your mind. And as the wounds finally come to a close with fresh scars that almost resemble a cross, your body sits up in the empty basement, Lloyd nowhere to be found. And you're free and awake. You have the entire basement to yourself.
I think that whenever she wakes up in a situation like this, there's always this sense of calm that comes over her. It's almost like this. It feels like the sort of thing that would be like an evolutionary trait of like, oh, you came back to life. It would be good if you didn't scream immediately. You know, there might be other people around, and that would be horrible for them if you did that. So I think that with this veil of calm, she gets up, starts humming to herself, looks around at all of the others. How hungry is she right now? Is she very hungry?
Definitely a little bit past peckish. And you, need I remind you, you are in a basement with a bunch of bottled up weirdling corpses in various states of post-death.
That's, I was so aware of that. That's why I asked you. Because if these things they're dead and she's hungry, then they're unfortunately not going to help matters. So I don't think she's going to go for them. I don't think the hunger is bad enough that she does yet. I think that she looks down and she realizes that she's naked and still floating in this post-death calm. She looks around for something to put on. I think there's this urge.
There's easily within reach, like Hylas's jacket that has been left behind. There's also a lab coat.
She'll take Hylas's jacket. And as she...
and his hat. His jacket and his hat. Just the jacket.
Just the jacket. She'll take the jacket.
Okay.
And as she puts it on, she kind of like rolls her shoulders. And I think that she like sniffs at it a little bit. Because there's this sense of familiarity to it, right? That's out of breath. And then she starts heading upstairs. Just walks straight up the wall. Doesn't use the ladder.
You round the corner and walk straight up the wall, pushing the hatch out and open. It's not locked. You walk up and around to the top of the second floor. There's no one here. It's quiet. As you look around, you hear the sound of wind. There's a window in the back that has been smashed. But other than that, there's nothing, no one here. Totally empty.
I think she calls out, hello. Like, she calls out for somebody and waits to see if she hears a response.
There's no response. You're all alone.
No response. So, I think that what she does is, there's the window you said, right? That's open?
Yep. The window that's been smashed open in the doctor's office. You remember this doctor's office. This is the one where you were injected with
Tortured.
something strange and, yeah, tortured light before you got tortured heavy.
Yeah, of course. How could I forget? I think that she takes a second, stares at the chair very intensely. I think there's just this deep animal urge to fuck up the chair.
Do it.
No, she like pushes it over or tries to, and just if there's something nearby that she can cut it up with, she'll try to do that.
Oh, there's a bone saw. There's
Yep,
a bone
yep,
saw.
that's
There's
great.
multiple scalpels.
I'm sure this bone saw hasn't been gently used lately. We'll use that.
Mm-hmm.
She cuts up the chair, and as she does it, there's this like her eyes dilate, much like Lloyd's had earlier, to these pinpricks, these little slits, as she's focused in on the task. And I imagine like Hylas's coat doesn't fit, so it's like flapping all over the place as she's doing it, but she takes the time to. It feels very important.
You destroy this chair. Dismantle it, however best you see fit.
After destroying the chair, I think she stands and takes a breath and rolls her shoulders again. She'll start humming again, this time an old hymn, as she makes her way toward the window.
The little window in the basement, or in the the broken window?
Yeah.
The broken window? Okay. You saunter up to the broken window. You can see that this window leads, it's a good window for light. It leads out and behind the building. And from what you can tell, it looks like it was broken from the inside.
Broken from the inside. Is there any sort of trail, perhaps, of a certain gentleman who might have decided to get the fuck out of Dodge?
There is... roll me a straight d20.
Straight D20, okay.
Oh, dude. There's a... You almost don't notice it until you get really close to one particularly sharp shard of glass. And you see there is a thin trail of blood, almost imperceptible, but you have a very good nose. And it dances out the window and around the corner and away.
I think she looks down at it and she starts to shake her head. Her shoulders roll again. There's a rise and fall to her chest. And there's this just look that comes over her as the hunger starts to come to the forefront. And I think she's just gonna fucking yeet herself out the window.
Okay, you throw yourself out the window.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to make any checks of any kind. You land outside the window and you can see the little trail of blood trickling off into the distance.
Is there anybody around? Is it mostly empty? I guess maybe people have left already.
Yeah, it seems to be that the area is mostly empty. There are a handful of people walking in the distance, but they're not walking towards this location. They seem to be doing their own business and happen to be in eye line of where you are.
I think she takes the time to button the coat. And she'll start walking. Very, very quickly. In the direction of that trail.
You start walking in the direction of this trail. And every so often you think you lose it. But just as you're about to lose it, you get another fresh whiff. And you manage to keep following it for another 10 or 20 feet, or another 50 feet, or another 75 feet. It's getting thinner, but you're still able to follow it. When the blood isn't visible, you can smell it. As you're walking down the street, there are people who give you strange looks. People who look at you and see like stark white hair and pale skin, and then a deep brown coat with no shoes. They don't know what to think. They don't see feet either. They just see the hooves. But nobody stops you. People just kind of keep to themselves and let you do what you gotta do. As you follow this blood trail around another corner, you can see that it stretches on ahead of you. And way down ahead of you, almost beyond eyesight, as the buildings kind of stretch on in that direction and the street takes a hard turn, you can see crowded movement as people round the corner hurrying. And at the front of this crowd of people, you see someone who looks like Willow.
I think she sees this crowd of people gathered up ahead. Studies them for a second. The trail of blood is leading past this, you said?
Yeah, it's leading in the direction they're coming from, so you would have to pass them to follow the trail.
And where am I in the city right now?
You are in the southern section, which, if I were to take you back to this map here, you would be somewhere here, thereabouts.
Is there like a pub or a market in here?
Sure, there's a couple of unnamed places for drinks and food and whatnot.
She'll duck into one of them.
Okay. You slip into one of the nearby food stalls, or not food stalls, food places. As you step in, way down at the other end, Willow and the crew continue hustling down the street, frantic to try and get, presumably, to you. Do you wait for them to pass?
Yeah, she does. I think that this is like a food court I'm in, right?
Sort of. There's like a little area where different people have set up for food.
Okay.
But you are inside of a building.
All right. I think she wanders around as if she's like looking at the various wares. She doesn't say anything explicitly to anybody yet. She's just looking around.
As you're casually looking, one of the men behind the counter of this area would just kind of casually offer, "Can I help you, miss?"
There's this look that comes over her face as her features kind of fall. And she looks over to the man, and he's behind a counter, right?
Yep.
She approaches him, and I think there's this just like pained sigh. And as she sits down, I think she adjusts one of the buttons on her coat, such that I imagine more of the cut is visible.
Mm-hmm.
And she looks at him. I know not, to be honest with thee. I seem to be in a daze. I think something horrible has happened.
He is taken aback by your language, and he looks around and then looks back to you. Something happened? I don't understand. Do you need help? Are you hurt?
I think that... What's the current state of the body?
It is repaired. It's not like fully up to snuff, but I would say that with the amount of time that you've been out and slowly recuperating and regenerating, you could have about half hit points. So you're not bloody, and well, at least none of the blood that was on you before is visible underneath the coat. The wounds that you would have sustained from the operation, call it, would have been magically transferred into scars.
So I think that she like touches the scar that's on her chest, and then the scar that's on her head, and she just kind of sighs. I think these are new.
He seems kind of dumbfounded. Like you have fresh scars and they're new. He just blinks and looks at your head. And he carefully holds out a hand and says, if I may.
She nods.
He will reach his hand over and brush his thumb against the scar on your forehead.
The second he does, she recoils as if she's in horrible pain.
Oh, I'm sorry.
My head.
Do you need a doctor? I know of one nearby.
She, still recoiling, nods and like looks at him. This isn't like an inn, right? It's just like a food situation.
Yeah, it's just a food style, like a food area.
She looks at him, still kind of touching her head. I feel as if I've just awoken. Could you take me to the doctor, perhaps?
He nods, and it's like, of course. I know one that's just down the street.
She'll nod, and she'll, like, swallow. And then she thinks about it a moment. Down the street. I think that one is empty. I think I must have walked past it. He's talking about the Valentine one, right?
Yeah, he's talking about Valentine.
Mm-hmm.
He furrows his brow. Empty. Well, if you walked by it and if he wasn't there, then I could take you to another doctor. I think there's one a bit further outside of this area of town, but I could take you there. Let me just close up.
And she nods, and she looks at him. You're very kind.
He smiles and kind of shrugs it off. It's like, thank you. I just can't leave a wounded woman.
Mm. There's other people in this place as he's closing up, right?
One or two. Not a lot of people.
Mm. She'll wait as he closes up.
Okay. He starts the process of closing up and shooing other people out and making them hurry along with their food. Meanwhile, the rest of the crew arrives at the doctor's office. Now it is late. Does the Z have a cutoff?
Yes. I was about to say, I can't
Okay.
do anything more.
Okay. Then you arrive at the Valentine doctor office. And we will pick up from there next time as Aang has gone rogue.
Yeah.
Different game.
Oh,
Been rogue the whole time.
She is also legitimately a rogue.